Okay, so today we will talk about Hercules at any time. So I just wonder, have you ever watched the Disney cartoon before about Hercules? 好，我们说大力士嘛，好，就是这个人，好，来 Hercules， 好 ，the great heroes before the Trojen War. So Hercules is described as the greatest hero of Greece, because of his strength. Okay, so basically, Hercules, he was a demigod. Demigod means he's half human being, half god, because he was born. He was born by he was the son of Zeus, and also he was a child. The child of Alcine. Alcine is she was a mortal, a human being. So Hercules was a demigod. And Hera, as I know, as we know, she is the god of what? She was god of marriage, right? Zeus' wife. So Hera, so she was the keeper of marriage. Therefore, she hated him. 来，就老师之前在课堂上有跟同学提到就是所以 Hera 就是说Alcine basically 他是一个怎么样来宙斯的在外面的一个小三，对不对？小三所生下来的那个小孩子，那他的老婆原配是怎么样 Hera 那原配当然就是他是一个 she was a keeper of marriage 那他一听到说他在外面这个宙斯在跟外面的女孩子游览，他就非常的生气。非常生气，非常的怎么样？他有很重要的特质，就是所以 Hera， she possessed a very important quality about jealousy and envy. So she hated Hercules as well as his mother Alcine. However, Hercules was claimed to be the strongest man on earth. He was never defeated by anything that lived in the air, sea, or on the land. So you can see the picture of Hercules. So there was an early sign. He was destined to be to great things. For example, Hercules. When he was a baby, he played snakes with his hands as a toy. 就是说别的小孩子一看到这个蛇嘛，就非常的害怕。可是呢，这个 Hercules 他怎么样，把蛇当玩具来玩这样子。所以这是他很早的时候我们就看得出来，他是怎么样。He had the strength and the power. And very strong. So in contrast with Theseus, as we said, in last week, Theseus. So Hercules was all about strength. So Theseus, as we can see, probably we can compare with the Iron Man. His wisdom made him more like the hero, Iron Man. 钢铁人嘛，来，同学有没有看过那个复仇者联盟？就 full of wisdom. So Theseus we can say he was full of wisdom. However, Hercules he was more like Hulk. So someone would say Hercules he was very stupid. He was very stupid, but full of strength. So Hercules was all about strength. Wisdom and intelligence were often conspicuously absent in things he did. 所以有人就说他所做的事情都是比较是不经大脑思考的啦，不经大脑思考的So Hera, Zeus' wife, held a grudge. So she had the quality of envy and jealousy, as I mentioned before. She tried to kill Hercules when he was a baby. And then she sent him into frenzy, in which he killed all of his children and also his wife, Megara. Actually, Hercules, he had 4 wives, and Megara was his first wife. 就他第一任老婆了，第一任老婆。那如果同学有看那个迪士尼卡通那 Hercules 的话，大力士的话，通常电影它演的是比较 simplified version， 而且会 adapted， 通常会改编就是你会发现到像看那个 Hercules 就是说迪士尼卡通这个电影的话，很多同学有看过的话，之前有看过的话，他在里面的话，就是说我们会觉得他怎么样？就是他是一个非常忠贞的人就是说 Hercules he was very loyal to his wife。可是呢，实际上他并不是这样的一个人就是他有经历4任老婆，4任老婆所以你会发现到，同学如果看那个卡通的时候迪士尼卡通，你会发现它很多地方它都有改编过的好，那我们实际去看原著这 in the Greek mythology somehow different So when Hercules regained his sanity, he sought out the oracle at Delphi. So he tried to solve the oracle from Apollo. So Apollo, as I said, he was a god of sun. He was also a god of prophecy, a god of oracle, a god of music, god of medicine, as well as god of healing. So Apollo, he was a very versatile god. So he tried to Hercules tried to seek out the oracle at Delphi. Delphi is Apollo's patron 就是阿波罗所他的那个神庙就是这个 oracle 就是在这个 Delphi 当中把它的德尔菲这个神庙就是所以他去这个跟着阿波罗获取什么这个神谕这个 oracle 希望能够预知未来会怎么样一个情况So in the hope of making atonement, so oracle ordered Hercules to serve Eurystheus, king of Mycenae, 叫做麦西尼就是麦西尼这个是希腊的一个城邦这个希腊的这个他这个麦西尼的国王这个Eurystheus. Then Eurystheus sent Hercules to do a series of tasks known as the labors of Hercules. So there was 12 labors. There were 12 labors. That Hercules had to accomplish. So probably you can have a look on page 164. 来，同学可以看一下在课本的怎么样？164跟165页有提到这个12个12 labors。那这12个这个劳役呢，在 Hercules 里面就是它是非常非常著名的 very well known, very famous 就是我们讲说这12个那如果同学有看迪士尼卡通的话它里面是算是比较是轻描淡写它里面如果同学仔细去看它里面只有提到它其中一个实际上它有12个总共有12个，非常多所以我们可以看一下来我们 top of page 164来我们来看一下164页上面的地方来课文in the textbook. So Eurystheus, so as I said, he was a king of Mycenae, was by no means stupid. 所以他非常聪明的very intelligent. 他就是呢指使怎么样这个 Hercules 要完成这12项劳役 But he was also Eurystheus was also a very ingenious turn of mind and when the strongest man on earth Hercules came to him humbly prepared to be his slave, he devised a series of penances which from the point of view of difficulty and danger could not have been improved upon. 所以你看到这个同学看到这个地方就有提到就是说他有12项工作要他去做So that's the labors of Hercules 来总共有12个So let's have a look at the 12 great labors, okay, done by Hercules. So someone would say that's the 12 great feats. 就它12个伟大的功绩啦，伟大的事迹这样子哈。Okay, so the first one is to kill the main line. To show anyway, these 12 labors is to show his strength, his inconvincible, invincible power, invincible strength. So the first one is to kill the main lion. The main lion was a ferocious monster that could not be pierced by any weapon. So we can see this kind of animal, is a very ferocious monster. So Hercules managed to strangle the monster with his bare hands by using his unusual strength. So after he had strangled the lion, he used one of his claws to skin the monster, and he wore the hide, which retained its magical properties until his death. So that is the first labor, the first labor. 就是说这个动物是怎么样？你没有办法用任何的那个武器那个 weapon 去杀死的然后他怎么样？这 Hercules 他就是用那种把这个动物把它用脚的把它绞死这样子所以这是他的其中一个方法using his unusual strength 就是他的那个这个很特别的这个所谓那种力量把它绞死那这是一个非常特别的地方So this is his first his first labor and the second one is to kill the Trojen Hydra. 来，如果同学有看那个迪士尼卡通的话来出现的应该是这个东西出现的那个来是这个那个 his second labor 里面就提到这一个了主要是这一个然后还有他跟那个 Hades the god of underworld against the god of underworld Hades. So Hydra the main Hydra was a monster that lurked in the swamps near a small settlement called Nirna and had 9 heads. So basically Hydra is a 9-headed monster. So this monster frequently terrorized the nearby countryside. For this labor, Hercules was accompanied by his nephew, Aeolus. When they found the Hydra, Hercules soon discovered that if he cut off one head, 2 more would grow back. So this means that his head will regenerate, right? Will regenerate. 就是它会再生你杀了它的一个头没有用，它会继续再生长出来So Hercules managed to defeat the Hydra when Aeolus held a torch to each of the stumps so that flames prevented new heads from growing 所以这个他们也蛮厉害的他们有什么样的方式？他们的 tactics, that strategy. So Aeolus, Hercules, called his nephew, 他就是怎么样来用那个火炬当他就是用那个火炬呢，在他的那个杀了他的头之后呢，就怎么样在他的火炬那边燃烧，让他没办法再生长出来所以呢，这个 the flames prevented new heads from growing. So after he had slain the Hydra, Hercules dipped his arrows in his blood, which became poisonous. So it became one of Hercules' weapon 就它变成他其中一个武器就是说他以后他的弓箭射出去之后，他那个弓箭前面呢就会沾了这个所谓 Hydra 它的血液，它的血液是有毒的 poisonous 那就变成说这是他其中的一个武器So that's the pictures of Hercules killing Hydra, 9-headed monster. and its head would regenerate. Okay, and the third labor that Hercules did was to capture the Samian hind alive. So to capture back alive a stag with horns of gold. This animal was sacred to Artemis. So who is Artemis? So as I indicated in the 12 great Olympian gods, Artemis she is a goddess of hunting, right? A goddess of hunting. She is also a goddess of deer, wild animals. Okay, the fourth one was to trap the Erymanthine boar. Boar means wild pig, wild pig， 就野猪啦。好，他要去 trap 就所以要去捕捉这个所谓这个野猪哈。And the fifth one, that Hercules had to do was to clean the old Trojan stables， 就马槽马厩，他要去清理这个马厩，就是我们讲说关动物的那个地方，它是有时候如果你没有去清理的话，就是非常的怎么样，非常的就是说，不是很干净所以他第五个任务是要去怎么样的 to clean the Trojan stables. So Ogyges was king of Elis. His stables, which had gone unclean for over 30 years, contained over 1,000 cattle. So the task was that Hercules had to clean the stables in one day. So he had to finish cleaning the stables in one day. So Hercules went to Ogyges and told him that he would clean the stables if Hercules could get a tenth of the cattle. Ogyges was surprised but agreed. So to have proof, Hercules brought Ogyges' son with him. He then made two big holes in the walls of the stables that were opposite each other. Hercules then cleaned the stables by rerouting rivers into the stables. The labor was done. 所以他是怎么样来就是改变它的那个水道让它能够经过这个地方让它变得比较干净因为它是流动的fluid rather than static, so that the water could flow. So let's go on to the next one. The next labor that Hercules had to do was to butcher the Athenian birds. So Athena, as I said, so she was a goddess of, 她是 a goddess of war, right? She was goddess of war, and also goddess of wisdom, goddess of intelligence, as I indicated in the 12 great Olympian gods. 她是什么样？女的战神嘛，对不对？也是智慧的一个女神。And how about a god of war? 来，男的战神是谁？Ares， 对不对？Ares。In Greek mythology we say Ares. In Roman mythology we say Mars. So Athena, gave Hercules or Heracles. Heracles 我们在 Greek mythology 我们叫 Heracles. In Greek mythology we say Heracles. In Roman mythology we say Hercules. So basically they are the same person. 同样一个人可是希腊神话跟罗马神话用不同的名字就比如说在希腊神话我们叫宙斯 Zeus 可是呢在罗马神话的话 In Roman mythology we say Jupiter 可是他们是同样一个人的好so Athena decided to give the Heracles or Hercules bells which Hephaestus. So who is Hephaestus? He is also one of the 12 great Olympian gods. So who is Hephaestus? 来，老师现在课堂上面有提到，对不对？他是怎么样？是谁的老婆？是谁的老婆？ OK， 应该是谁的老公了？好，谁的老公？好，来，这个是男的嘛？好 ，Hephaestus， 好，来，他是怎么样？是 Aphrodite 的老公嘛，对不对？好 ，So Aphrodite， she was a goddess of love, goddess of beauty, goddess of sexuality. So her husband was Hephaestus. 那 Hephaestus 就是我们讲说那个锻炼之神，断火，就是那个就是那个钢铁的那个之神好，掌管那个武器的那炼钢的钢铁的这样的一个男的这样的一个神那他的那个老婆就是怎么样就是一个就刚刚所提到Aphrodite 她被尊称为是希腊神话里面最漂亮的这样的一个女神那她娶了一个怎么样这个最丑陋的就是这个 Hephaestus 是怎么样所有希腊诸神里面这样子是最丑的所以类似一个什么样 so a sharp contrast so Athena a goddess of war, goddess of wisdom, decided to give Hercules bells, which Hephaestus had made especially for the occasion. So Hercules shook the bells and frightened the birds into the air, and Hercules then shot many of them with his arrows. So that's the sixth neighbor. So let's move on to the next one. The seventh neighbor was to capture the Cretan wall. So to go to Crete 克里特岛这个地方他要去克里特岛去怎么样 fetch from there a beautiful savage bull that Poseidon had given to Minos. So that's the seventh neighbor. And the eighth neighbor was to round up the mares of Diomedes. So mares basically is a horse, it's a kind of horse. So to get the man-eating mares of King Diomedes of Thrace. And the ninth one was to fetch Hippolytus, girdle of gold. So to retrieve the golden girdle of Hippolyta, queen of the Amazons. And the 10th one was to fetch the cattle of Gurning, to bring back the monster with 3 bodies living on Erythea, a western island. So anyway, 同学可以看到就是它不同的怎么样 a variety of tasks that Hercules had to accomplish. And the 11th one was to fetch the golden apples of the Hesperides. So Hercules did not know where to start searching for the garden, so he traveled many countries in search of it. While he was searching, he was stopped by Cycnus. After the fight, was stopped by a thunderbolt. Hercules continued to Erythea, where he met Nereus. Nereus knew where the garden was, so Hercules grabbed onto him and did not let go until Nereus told him the location. As Hercules continued, he met Antaeus, son of Poseidon. Hercules defeated Antaeus in a wrestling match. 所以他把怎么样这个 Antaeus son of Poseidon 把他击倒了在一个怎么样摔跤的一个竞赛当中。Then Hercules met Prometheus. So who was Prometheus? 老师之前在课堂上面有提到谁是 Prometheus? He was a savior of mankind, right? 人类的救星So why was he the savior of mankind? Because he stole a fire from Zeus in order to save human beings, right? 就是老师之前在课堂上面有提到那个前面的单元里面有提到嘛他从宙斯那边偷了火然后呢之后因为他偷了火怎么样被宙斯束缚在什么 Caucasus 高加索山那个地方然后最后被谁救了Hercules 啊，这是一个非常非常著名的故事哈。之前老师在课堂上面有提到，好，那时候有带过嘛，啊，就是说Hercules，就是说救了这个怎么样 Prometheus， 啊，可是 Prometheus 既然是被他的 Hercules 的爸爸，他爸爸宙斯怎么样？就是说把他束缚起来，可是最后是被他的儿子给救了所以这是一个非常特别的一个故事So then Hercules met Prometheus. When Prometheus told Hercules his predicament, Hercules killed the eagle that was eating Prometheus' liver. So the liver can regenerate, right? 它是会再生的就是它的痛苦是不断的有的就是它那个秃鹰那个老鹰不断吃它的怎么样？吃这个 Prometheus 它的怎么样？它的肝脏那肝脏就有再生能力，所以它就非常的痛苦然后最后是被谁救了？被宙斯的他的儿子 Prometheus Hercules 救了So somehow I think it's ironic, sarcastic. So in turn, Prometheus told Hercules that Atlas, the titan that was holding up the sky, would have to go get the apples. Hercules then reached the garden and convinced Atlas into getting the apples. Hercules took Atlas' burden while Atlas was fetching the apples. Once Atlas returned, Atlas offered to take the apples straight to Eurystheus. So that's the 11. And then Hercules agreed, but asked Atlas to hold the sky until he got support for his shoulders. Atlas went back under his burden, and Hercules went away with the apples. However, the apples belonged to the gods, and Athena took the apples from Eurystheus. So that's his 11th labor. So let's go on to the last labor. The 12th labor was to bring Cerberus from Tartarus. So capturing Cerberus alive without using the weapons was the final labor assigned to Heracles or Hercules by King Eurystheus. So after Hercules succeeded in bringing back the Cerberus, Eurystheus was so terrified that he asked Hercules to bring it back to the underworld. So the underworld was governed by Hades. So while it's in the underworld, Hercules met Theseus. So that's what we talk about Theseus and Perseus, right? 我们提到这个部分嘛。Also, one of the great heroes before the Trojen War. So in the underworld, Hercules met Theseus and Perseus. The two companions had been imprisoned by Hades for attempting to kidnap Persephone. Hades feigned hospitality and prepared a feast, inviting them to sit. They unknowingly sat in the chairs of forgetfulness and were permanently ensnared. When Hercules had pulled Theseus first from his chair, some of his thigh stuck to it. But the earth shook at the attempt to liberate Perseus, whose desire to have the wife of God for himself was so insulting, he was doomed to stay behind. The story that Hercules fought with death, Hades, in order to save his friend, Amycus, his friend's wife, Astytus. That's described his character as Greek solid simplicity and blundering stupidity. 所以刚老师有跟同学提到这个 Hercules 被怎么样 can be compared to Hulk， 对不对就他是怎么样 stupidity 就所以这个 Greeks 后来给他一个尊称，就是他是怎么样头脑，就类似那种头脑简单然后呢，这个是而且是什么 blundering stupidity 所以这是一个很特别的一个部分就是他是怎么样 Hercules he was full of strength full of power but not wise So in terms of death of Hercules 他是怎么死的呢？接下来我们看一下 老师有讲过他有4任老婆，对不对？来，这是他另外一任。来，这个 Hercules was married to Deianira. Like one day, long after Hercules' marriage to Deianira, like the centaur Nisus offered to ferry them across a wide river that they had to cross. Nisus set off with Deianira first, but tried to abduct her. When Hercules realized the centaur's real intention, Hercules chased after him and shot him with an arrow, which was poisoned with Hydra's blood. Before he died, Nisus cheated Deianira into taking some of his blood and treasured it, telling her that it was a very powerful medicine, and that if she ever thought Hercules was being unfaithful, 你看到没有？还怀疑他如果他不对他的老婆不忠贞的时候呢，来，他可以做什么样的动作呢？来 ，the centaur told her， 告诉他老婆这个 blood 可以 restore his love， 挽回他的爱情，就是要把他毒死类似这个意思Like Deianira kept the vial of blood. Therefore, when the rumor that Hercules had fallen in love with another woman, she smeared some of the blood on a rope and sent it to Hercules. 所以这是什么意思？就是说 when Hercules, if Hercules had a love affair with another woman, then Deianira could smear some of the blood on a rope to poison to poison Hercules 可以让怎么样？这个 Hercules 中毒身亡。所以他们就是那时候Nisus 跟他讲的，你可以做这样一个动作So that's a picture. So those are the pictures of Nisus, Deianira, and Hercules. So Hercules, he was poisoned. And then he fell burning as soon as he wore the robe. Leading what happened to Hercules, Deianira killed herself. 他的原配后来他也自杀了。So basically, it's a tragedy. 是一个悲剧有人说这个大力士它是一个悲剧就是他的其中的一任老婆就是他会 committed suicide, kill herself. 同时也把怎么样 Hercules 也要毒杀他这样子。So Hercules also killed himself in the end. 他之后也怎么样 committed suicide. This is rest. This is the end, said Hercules. Hercules was taken to heaven, where he was reconciled to Hera. 来，刚老师有讲过，一开始at the beginning of this course, as I said, Hera, she was a goddess of envy, goddess of marriage, goddess of jealousy. He tried to kill Hercules when he was a child. 当他是一个怎么样？婴儿，baby child 的时候，来 Hera 想要杀谁？想要杀 Hercules， 对不对？因为这是宙斯在外面跟别的小三生的小孩子，所以他那时候心中不容许怎么样其他的杀子来就想要杀死这个就是说 Hercules， 可是有没有成功？来 Was it successful? No, it was not successful. It was unsuccessful. 可是呢，最后怎么样？I think somehow it was very ironic. 非常的讽刺是怎么样？最后呢，来那个 Hera 把他的女儿许配给谁？许配给了这个 Hercules。当他 Hercules 死后升天when Hercules passed away, Hera granted her daughter to Hercules. 然后他的 daughter 叫什么名字？来叫 Hebe 来不是 SH 里面那个 Hebe 刚好是同名来，所以他就把怎么样 Hera 就把他的那个女儿呢来许配给了怎么样 Hercules 觉得后来 Hercules 他虽然是一个人他是一个 demigod 半神半人可是最后他怎么样还是最后升天成为怎么样神然后就是这个Hera 就许配了怎么样他的女儿给了怎么样给了这个Hercules. So that is the story about Hercules. So let's move on to the next one. So it's about Atlanta. The next we can say heroine, heroine. So she was a heroine, so I think it's very special, because all the heroes that we mentioned before, they were all male, right? And she was the only female, so唯一一个比较 so that's the reason what made her very special 为什么她这么特别？因为她怎么样？她是一个女孩子，女英雄人物。那他们可以想想看，我们中国神话是不是也有类似的 ？How about in Chinese myth or in Chinese culture, Chinese history？ 那很经典的就是说，比如说 ，if you watch the Disney cartoon， 你可能会想到什么？来，木兰对不对？花木兰嘛，对不对？Okay, so Atlanta, she was a girl who first abandoned by her father and was raised by a bull, a wild pig. After growing up, she was found by hunters and brought back to the society. Atlanta was the swiftest runner of her time, surpassing most men in racing. She was a woman way ahead of her time. She could defeat men in wrestling, got to voyage with Jason and Argonauts in the quest for the Golden Fleece, and played an active part in killing the feared Caledonian boar. 所以这个是提到说，他的一些身世就是说，他还曾经参加过我们之前提到的 The Quest of Golden Fleece， Jason， right， Jason 的迷弟So in terms of the Caledonian boar hunt, the goddess Artemis, she was a goddess of hunting, goddess of deer, grew furious at King Oeneus of Caledon, and sent a bull of huge size and strength, which prevented the land from being sown, destroying and terrorizing with cattle and people. To get rid of this ravaged beast, King Oeneus sent out heralds all across Greece, inviting the bravest fighters to take part in the Caledonian bull hunt. In the end, it was Atlanta that killed the bull, to show her strength, to show power. So that's a picture of Atlanta's killing of the bull. So Atlanta was also a stunningly beautiful woman. So she was not only powerful, but also beautiful. 她是一个很漂亮的一个女孩子，所以有很多怎么样 suitors 就追求者啦。And had many princely suitors from all over Greece to come to ask for her hand in marriage. However, Atlanta had vowed to remain husbandless. 她就是不想要结婚 to remain single until she died, and would challenge any potential suitor to a race. If she lost, she would become his wife. If the man was defeated in the race, he would lose his life. Needless to say, many suitors were killed by her until Aphrodite, the goddess of love, got involved. So Aphrodite gave Memnon three golden apples to distract Atlanta's attention while racing. Therefore, he won the race and married Atlanta. And Menenius forgot to pay proper thanks to Aphrodite's help. 就刚刚老师提到的就是说 Aphrodite, or the goddess, a goddess of sexuality, a goddess of beauty, a goddess of love, she helped Menenius to pursue Atlanta, and it was successful. However, Menenius was not grateful. 他没有怎么样回报他So the peeved goddess of love, Aphrodite, decided to punish the ungrateful man. So while he was sacrificing a mount Parnassus to Zeus to celebrate his victory, Aphrodite inflamed him with the desire and made him lay with Atlanta in the temple, while the sacred images turned away their eyes. Zeus saw this profane act in his temple, and in his fury, he turned them into Lion and Linus. 好，所以他们最后就变成是 Lion and Linus 就是不会在一起的啦就是说这是刚刚同学有提到嘛，刚刚那一组同学有报告他基本上是 separated because they did profane thing in the patron of in Olympus and this act was seen by Zeus. So Zeus decided to punish, Millennium and Atlanta. So there are two questions for you, in this chapter. So question number 1, among the heroes we introduced in these 2 weeks, which one do you admire the most? From whom you learn lessons from these stories, including Perseus, right? Last week we talked about Perseus, Theseus, and this week we talk about Hercules at Atlanta, right? So among the heroes we introduced in these 2 weeks, which one do you admire the most? From whom you learn lessons from their stories? And also you can think about question number 2. Is there any heroine in Chinese culture, or in Chinese society, in Chinese history, or in Chinese myth? So you can try to make comparison and contrast between the Western civilization and the Eastern civilization, or Chinese civilization. 来，同学可以做一个比较你可以想想看，我们在课堂上面目前所学到的是，上一半我们提到的 Perseus、Theseus， 这一半我们提到的 Hercules、Atlanta。那 Atlanta 是唯一一个，就是说她是一个女性的。那你可以想想看，在how about in Chinese culture, in Chinese myth? You can think about it. So you please specify. You can give some examples to support your thought. 好，来，那这个部分同学可以放在怎么样？你的 personal reflections 我们就老师有讲过，我们期末要怎么样？要缴反思嘛，对不对？你可以思考一下这个问题去比较东西方文化它的相同跟不同的地方，好不好？我觉得这也蛮有趣的你就可以思考一下，或者说你可以去比较一下，我们现在所看到的 Hercules 在原著里面跟在电影里面的 Hercules 来有没有什么相同跟不同的地方，好不好？好，来，那我们今天上到这边